Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Department Podcast, the wrestling recap version, where us three fine gentlemen here are recapping Wrestlemania Backlash. It was a pay-per-view full of ups and downs and everything in between, from the most extreme things to the basic stuff, all on one card. So it was a lot of mixed emotions, but it was interesting to say the least. But before we get into all this interesting and fun stuff, fellas, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good, you know. Jess, she made all our visual stuff, graduated from college, so
Woo.
she's an adult now. Oddly and ironically enough, first day as an adult gets hit with a car payment. So welcome to real life.
Woof.
that
Woof.
sucks.
Yeah,
Wait, was today the official graduation day? Because then I also
so you graduated.
Norman graduated.
See,
Nice.
I forget about that because like I
Sweet.
feel like you were in our age range, but you weren't. You were a year below us, but
Yeah,
disassociate yourself.
you know,
with everything.
COVID. So
Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing, that little thing.
You've been mentally graduated for about a year and a half because you've been in.
I finished
high
up my major about a year ago.
Yeah.
This has all been minors for
Well,
about a year.
You were supposed to be done, but you came back just for the hell of it.
I did, yeah. I did actually come back for an extra semester just because.
Well,
So we're all
congratulations
alumni.
to you, Jesse.
We're all alumni. And Steve graduated too.
Oh.
He did.
yeah.
He did. He
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
From the
alumni.
William
Joe,
Patterson-
not yet.
Yeah, he's got some
Nah.
time.
Another year. But
From
pretty
the good-
soon, all of like our friends are gonna be gone within another year or two.
Two. Yeah, two is the
Yep.
last class that we care about, at least, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be so weird. Because like, okay, so basically we were all from like radio in William Patterson University, and like we're all in like a group and everything. But it's gonna be weird, like when they hire new people next year. It's like, how are we gonna adopt them into our group? That's
We're not. You
Yeah.
gotta be a cutoff somewhere.
We're
That's a new group for another no more people.
it'll be like the
another
Thanos meme.
journey.
It'll be the Thanos meme. It's like I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
But good. Yeah, a lot of graduations today. So sounds well. I know
We're old.
Jesse's excited for some basketball playoffs coming up too.
Oh, Justin, I hope you guys win the play. I really, really
have to
do.
win.
I'm
Have
used
to
to
win.
it.
There's nothing. There's nothing that'll make Durant wake up even more than playing Westbrook in the first round.
And his
Oh,
hometown
God,
team.
I can't
Come on,
wait.
DC baby.
You're
I would
right,
love
it's
to
hometown
if you
team.
guys win a game. I would absolutely love it.
What if
'cause it
they
would make
knock
us
you
just
guys
even
out?
more mad.
They knock you guys out.
I don't
in the
think there's
first
any
round.
chance that happens
used to-
unless Kyrie, Harden, and Durant all tear their ACLs.
I mean, Kyrie might
I
go on
don't think
vacation again. So,
Kyrie, fun fact, Kyrie is the 5th player in NBA history to go 50, 40, 90,
Saw
while,
that.
averaging over 25 points.
I'm used to getting my ass kicked by teams from New York anyway, so I'm indifferent. But
Should
whatever.
be fun. Should be
Nah.
a fun time to
Please,
get a group
please
chat.
win.
So
I don't want to. I would rather play you guys than Boston.
But that'd be the
Boston
ultimate. That'd be the
sucks.
ultimate irony. Like how they basically screwed you into oblivion, and now here you are, actually the better team significantly, considering they did nothing with that team.
Oh, for sure, but I want to play you guys.
yeah.
I
Well-
want Durant to destroy Westbrook one last time.
He'll do it if it comes to that point. But we're here to talk about some wrestling, and we're recording this on Monday, May 17th, around 8:30 p.m. So we've had a good almost 24 hours to digest this pay-per-view and to give our honest thoughts on it. So let's get into the scoreboard first of all before we get to the
Scoreboard.
pay-per-view. Scoreboard. And for the first time ever, there was a 3-way tie in the prediction. So Justin just doesn't have one anymore. He has 2.
Oh baby,
So that's cool.
Make it
Jesse
dozy.
doesn't increase his lead. His lead from us, but
nothing happened.
Yeah, no, he's went up to 8 pay-per-views.
We're still losing.
Justin, I told you.
He could have won.
Don't pick Cesaro.
He could have won.
If you pick Roman, you win.
He would have won straight up. We would
Jesse,
have stayed.
You should have just played it safe.
I
Why
wasn't
would you
thinking-
win? What does it matter if you win by 2 points or if you win by 1 point?
See, not gonna lie, wasn't keeping track of what you guys were picking at that point. So, yeah, that was on me. And also, Jesse, when was the last time I actually listened to something you said to do?
Yeah, we know.
We would be a lot better off if you did.
How many times have we played Madden and we're like, kick the extra point, and I go for 2, and they're running back for 2 points the other way? Same thing.
Too many times. But no, Jesse has his final score right now.
Notice my
of
only
8.
points have come in ties.
Yeah, because you suck.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have
do.
5. You have 2. So, and the total points, which are just the end tiebreaker, if anything, is Jesse has 43. I have 39. Justin has 32. So it's still
I've had
fairly
4
close.
on you, Clark, forever.
Huh?
It's been 4.
I know. I
differential has
don't think
been
I'm gonna
4 for so long.
It's gonna be hard for me to close that gap because we think pay-per-view wise and predictions very similarly. And we usually either have like all the same or at least like one off, and that one off will usually be the one that you get
Off
right.
has been gone to me. Yeah.
Yeah, so
we
it's
also
rough.
got to, we're also malpractice on ourselves. We forgot to establish some form of a tiebreaker, so that's how we kind of just like
yeah, we didn't do a tiebreaker for the pay-per-view. Yeah, no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's how. Yeah.
Yeah, we should start trying to do that from now on, but we'll figure that out. Maybe just do predictions of what the first match on the card will be. But anyways, Jesse
Or
still
like
has
what
his
main
lead.
events.
Yeah,
Something like
or
that.
what main events or something. But Jesse still has his lead. So let's get into the card. And there was a kickoff match that we didn't know about until about like 5 minutes before the show started. What else is new? Sheamus Ricochet wasn't really a championship match. It said it was gonna be. Then Sheamus said, "Nah, B, you got to earn that." The Sheamus won for no reason in a non-title match against Ricochet, and
I mean, Ricochet's gonna eventually win the U.S. title.
probably
You think? Like that's kind of
probably.
that's where this is going. Maybe by SummerSlam.
I don't think so.
No, because Ricky beat him
I
up
don't-
after the match and was like, "Hey, yo, I want another shot." And I don't know.
It'll be a blow off on like TV.
I don't think they
Something
care
TV.
enough about Ricochet to put him on
They don't.
pay-per-view.
I mean, they announced his match 5 minutes before. I didn't watch
What's the
this. I
last
was-
thing Ricochet was like really a part of? Was like that Brock thing for about 10 seconds.
Wasn't him and
where
like
he got
Aleister Black
squashed?
like the morality police for a while?
That was the tag team when they first came, because they were at that point a tag team in NXT because of the Dusty Cup.
Yes, and then I know he did have a U.S. title run at one point. He had his feud with Ali and Retribution, and that's about it.
Oh
honestly.
God.
Yeah, that's about it. So not too much stuff from Ricochet. I'd love to see him getting a little feud with Sheamus. They could put on some great matches together, but that's just a kickoff. Don't want to dwell on that too much. Let's get into the main card, and we start off with a pretty solid match. We had Rhea, Asuka, and Charlotte in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title, and surprisingly, in a way, but Rhea just straight up retained the title.
If she's gonna lose it
with her.
Yeah, if she's gonna lose it, it'll be at like a SummerSlam, or she might be in a cell, and because that's next month.
That's in June now. It's not October anymore, baby.
Well, that's why they're probably doing Charlotte Rhea in the cell, because Charlotte didn't lose. Charlotte fell off the apron and they didn't show it to us. So when the match was over, we were kind of just like, what? Well, why didn't Charlotte just break it up? She was literally on the apron.
Yeah.
So I think
camera
that's
work
where
there.
that's going, is they're going to Hell in a Cell. That's been happening a lot lately. Like, I
Mhm.
can't be the only one who's noticing that, right?
No.
Like, if they outsource their cameramen or something, like, they've gotten worse.
And it's
They
kind of
are
like,
actively missing so much stuff.
and that's where like our like minimal TV experience production comes in, because it's like we sort of noticed that, and like was it the main event where like the weird switcher glitch like popped up with like the
Yes.
8,000 different
Yes.
camera angles? Like, what was that?
Yeah, no, that was weird too. Yeah, a lot of like production errors recently. Yeah,
I gotta
I've
wonder with
noticed
it being
too.
2 different networks because they have different crews.
It could be, or maybe like Jesse said, maybe they
I don't-
fired everyone too, and they just hired new staff, and
Yeah, cheaper.
who knows?
It
Cheaper
definitely is possible.
freelancers maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. No, the camera work has definitively, I think, like been worse recently. They miss a lot of stuff that like you're literally
And
like,
they
oh,
cut away also. 'cause
like
I
the
noticed it-
commentators plug it. They cut so much.
I know, like
they cut so much.
with Bianca's entrance, they literally like cut to just like the digital boards, like when she was in the ring. It's like, don't you want to show that? But okay.
Yeah, it was bad. But the match was good. I thought this match was pretty okay.
They had enough talent to be a quality match out of the
There you
gate,
go.
regardless.
Yeah, Charlotte had cool gear. All 3 are stars. It's the
Charlotte's gear was fire.
Yeah, the Cruella DeVille gear, and Rhea retained against 2 former champions, 2 of the top wrestlers in the company. So shout out to Rhea. I thought this was just a little plug and play for Rhea because of the whole Lacey Evans thing, but it looks like they're sticking with Rhea for the time being. I'm happy to see that because she's talented. So let's move on in the card, and we're now at the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, which was actually a really, really good match because earlier in the night, the Dirty Dogs, Dolph and Robert, went to attack good old Dommy Boy backstage and flipped a couch on him. I think that
Just because there's a random couch backstage.
just because of the random couch, and then of course the officials and all the other guys couldn't lift up the couch off of Dominic, of course.
So
Dominic,
stupid. It's it's IKEA
Wasn't
furniture.
wasn't Jamie Noble there?
Yeah.
Jamie Noble was a wrestler.
Half of them are wrestlers. Like,
yeah, it was like the referees
Yeah.
and like Pierce and Noble and all those cast of characters. So for the time being, Dominic wasn't in this match, and it was a 2-on-1 match.
so
with
did you just have the
Dirty
couch?
Dogs.
Did you just have the couch on him like all night?
He had,
'cause
he
no
had
one
the
could
couch
move
on
it?
the whole time, and they
No
finally
one
got
could
it
move
off.
it.
Probably got a forklift or something to get it off of him. That's why they finally came back. And then it was a 2-on-1 match, and then all of a sudden Dominic comes limping down and holding his ribs and whatever.
This was
and
the most predictable outcome of a match. Like we called it on the preview pod just because of how well they were telegraphing it. And it's like, do they really have to take him out of the match just for him to come back, even though Ray
Just to
carried it
come
anyway?
Nope.
It's like, if you don't have that much faith in him to be
No.
in the match to win the belts, why put it on him in general? Because it was probably in Ray's contract. But fine. We knew we were going to get it. We knew this was going to be the outcome. If they feud with Rude and Ziggler for more than like
Dirty Dogs.
a few weeks, this is going to get so boring so quick.
You're not a fan of the Dirty Dogs?
I'm not a fan of
I
the
think we're gonna
Mysterios
get-
having to talk for more than
I
10 minutes.
Don't worry, I think we're gonna get saved. I think the Usos are gonna be tag champs pretty soon, hopefully. I think they'll get it pretty soon. Match was good. Ray carried.
Yeah.
I think Ray is fantastic in the ring. Ray is incredible. Rude and Dolph were fine. They were
They're
pretty
pros.
good.
They're pros.
And
Bros.
yeah, and again, Ray carried. He did a lot of cool things. When Rude threw him, and then Ziggler got him right in the chest with the kick. That looked pretty
Dirty.
sweet.
That was dirty.
And then yeah, Dom just comes limping down, and then Ray's got to decide if he wants to tag in his injured son. It was like that was a whole wrinkle that did not need to be there at all.
Nope. No, not at all. But it happened. And Jesse, I want to bring up the line that you texted us that you caught on commentary from Pat McAfee about Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, and them being two of the top singles competitors in all of the company. And I thought that
That's
was
Pat
funny.
CTE.
He said these were two guys at the top of the singles competition, and they formed a tag team and have been like dominant ever
Well,
since.
in
Good for
Pat,
him for
in Pat's
upselling,
defense,
But
Dolph has to be in the main event picture at least once a year. So
he does. He
you
does.
watch him
That's
just during
true.
that time frame, you might think he's a top guy.
And he was just upselling,
should have been
obviously,
him.
it should have been me. But Pat's been doing great. Adnan Virk improved a lot. Honestly, I like him doing the stats and stuff. A lot of stats he said on the pay-per-view. I noticed, like, title hasn't changed in a triple threat
Well,
since
that's his
here.
shtick. He's a baseball nerd stats guy.
Stick to that, and don't try to like do all these fake emotions and all this other stuff that he's been trying to do.
Well, that's the thing. I think he was overselling way too hard when he first got over there. And this was his first pay-per-view, right?
Yes.
So, and that's what we kind of said where
Yeah.
we would judge him by, because at that point it was about 5 weeks, give or take, since he came over. So there's potential there.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he would honestly work better with Pat. I don't think Cole needs Pat. Like, as good as Pat is, I think Pat would be better used with
and
not
Graves would be
as strong
hilarious.
play-by-play as Cole. Yeah, if you put Pat, Graves, and then like Burke on Raw, and then I don't know, you could either do Graves on SmackDown, or you could put Booker T back on. Who cares?
Facts.
Michael
I love
Cole
me
can
some
just
Book.
carry it anyway.
I love Book.
Cole can just carry it anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, first father-son tag team champions. Like, we've heard that for the 20th time in the last 2 weeks. But
They'll be the first father-son to lose.
it
the
would have been
belts
so
also.
much
there you
better.
go.
I texted this. It would have been so much better if Murphy came out and Murphy was the tag team partner.
Yeah.
And then you have this whole feud of Dominic and Murphy, because I would assume Murphy's still
son-in-law.
dating Aaliyah, because who knows? So now you got the son-in-law and the son feud. Come on, that's better than anything they've done with the Mysterios.
Yeah.
And then they can do a tag team or a ladder match, custody of whoever gets the tag belt. Then at that point, kind of like back to
That'd
when...
be funny. That would be hot. SummerSlam.
would be
That'd be
great.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But man, there you go. That we knew that was coming, but it's time. It's time to talk about this match. Let's start with the promo for the show. The beginning vignette. It was narrated by Batista. It's talking about, Backlash and all this crap and whatever, and all of a sudden you see like clips from his upcoming film Army of the Dead that's on Netflix, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. It's a little deal with him. It's a little deal with him.
It's actually been reviewed as a good movie, surprisingly, so that's good. But
that's hard to believe, but I didn't mind it in the intro. Like, all right, it's a little cross promotion thing, former wrestlers in a movie on Netflix, yada yada yada. Cool, whatever, that's fine. But then you cut to backstage with John Morrison going into the Lumberjacks locker room, and it's a bunch of damn zombies in the locker room. Straight up zombies.
Why don't you just close the door?
Just lock the door and barricade it down.
Where's that immovable couch when you need it?
Oh man, I was just at a loss for words when I saw that, and I'm like,
and it's
wow.
the worst. See, what made it worse was the fact that it was in the Lumberjack locker room. Because if he just went into like the wrong door and it was a one-off, fine, whatever. But they brought them out.
They brought them out.
Match.
They brought him out. They surrounded the ring for Priest and Miz's match. They had like the apocalypse type stuff around the ring, and it was all themed for it. And zombies were phenomenal actors. They're probably wrestlers, but phenomenal actors. Great job. But it didn't click. This was
probably the worst gimmick shtick they have ever done.
Ever. You're talking about a long history of wrestling.
This was honestly worse than like that Orton Bray match where they had like the bugs projected onto the screen.
Far, this is worse than
the original House of Horrors match, the swamp fight, the poke your eye out match.
Oh,
for
sure worse than all those.
This was
I'm thinking
terrible.
maybe. Remember the kendo stick on a pole match was pretty bad. That was a really bad stipulation.
But here's my question, right? In the world of WWE, kayfabe, whatever.
Yeah.
Are zombies technically real then at this point?
Sure.
Yes.
Because like
they have to be.
Yeah, they have to be.
Mae Young gave birth
Remember when
to a
Zombie
hand.
came out in 2006? Yeah,
they referenced that.
In,
See, it would have been better to have someone dressed up like him at ringside.
Like that. Someone dressed as Elvis, though.
That would have, because that's in the trailer for the movie.
There was
is it really?
There's a zombie Elvis and a zombie tiger.
But
it's also a 2.5 hour long movie. It's brutal. It's a Zack Snyder movie.
Oh yeah, pass. I see with this whole thing. It took away from the match, which sucks, first of all, because you couldn't even enjoy the match.
Then John Morrison ran off.
And then they got eaten by the zombies. So we're recording this during Raw, but I'm expecting Miz and Morrison to show up as zombies tonight. They better, at least, because they were getting eaten by them in the ring. But I get what they wanted to do here with the cross promotion and all that stuff. But it just didn't work. It was a swing and a big miss here.
It was horrendous. It was awful.
Yeah, and this is a thing that will impact my final score when we rate this pay-per-view. It was going kind of smooth up to this point. It was like cool.
The show was average at this point, and this just went a wrong turn down what the hellsville.
Yeah, but Priest got the win at the end of the day.
This was the worst match of the past.
This was the worst match
of the past year that I can remember. Yeah, but technically the year just started because it ended at Mania.
True.
Let's go.
Calendar
21
all of last year
of the COVID era. Let's go with that.
There you go.
March of 2020 to now.
For sure.
This was the worst thing they have ever produced. Simply.
Period.
Ever.
Period. No, you're right. Period. Yeah. At the end of the day, Priest did win, so nice singles-ish pay-per-view victory for him. And let's stop talking about this because I had enough of it. Let's get into the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It was Bianca Belair and Bayley. It was okay. Not the best, not the worst. It was mid. Very average. Bianca kind of messed up the pin at the end with holding her hair around Bailey and trying to wrap her up that way. It kind of like slipped and it just didn't work and didn't look right. But I don't know what to think about this match. It was very average to me too. Like it
definitely didn't live up to the
It
expectations.
was like a
could've.
SmackDown match.
Yeah.
It was a very television. Yeah, like you said, it was a very just free TV match.
Yeah. Odd. Very, very odd. I don't know. I just
Especially when you look at the caliber.
Yeah, it could have been
wrestlers. Maybe they were told to hold back because they're gonna have another match.
Maybe a triple threat in a cell.
Give me a triple threat Hell in a Cell between. Yeah, give me that. That'd be great.
Yep. Sasha
Bianca always
Bailey.
is so good in the cell.
Yeah, she just puts her life on the line every time. She's nuts. But and that leads to that. I'm fine with it. Bianca got the little cheap win, but what are you gonna do? That's fine with me. Let's get into my match of the night right here. The triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, and Drew McIntyre. Meanwhile, the match before didn't live up to the expectation. This one by far exceeded all expectations. I know in the previous podcast we were saying how the Raw main event is very weak at the moment and they need to switch it up. But man, these guys put on an all-out show, full speed from the start bell to the end bell. Just Braun Strowman was honestly one of the MVPs of this match, and that's
shocking.
That's coming from someone who doesn't really like Braun as much as other people do, and he just went all out, all moves off the apron and taking all these suplexes and putting McIntyre through the table and McIntyre putting Bobby Lashley through the screen. It was just really, really good. And I enjoyed this match a lot. And
you got to wonder too, if they were almost told because maybe they felt the other matches were bad and boring for the most part.
Go all out.
Ramp it up a little bit. And it worked. Obviously they're not going to be like, all right, 5 minutes before going out, come up with the digital board spot. Like that was obviously pre-planned beforehand, but Drew slamming Braun was cool.
Yeah, no, it was very, very good. It had no right to be this good, this match. It really didn't. And
I think Braun is probably the best multi-man wrestler like in WWE right now. He adds so much to multi-man matches. He's not a great singles performer by any means, I think. But when you can hide him and just use his raw power, like catching Drew, a running Drew at full speed and just power bombing him through a table, like it's absurd. This was a great example of just big meaty men slapping meat, as Big E said. It was great.
Popping meat, baby.
That's what it was.
That's a line right there. But no, I enjoyed this. And at the end of the day, Bobby Lashley came back from going through the stage, picked up basically the cheap pin again, and just retained his championship, which is cool. I love that Bobby has now 2 successful title defenses at WrestleMania and at WrestleMania Backlash, and he's going to have a match in the cell.
I think now it's okay for him to lose the belt. Like if he were to lose it, you can look back and be like, that was a good run because he had two.
It was fun. It was fun.
He had 2 high-profile, successful defenses.
Yeah, and obviously in a triple threat match, it's a clean victory no matter what. But also the clean victory against Drew at Mania too really solidified him as that top guy on Raw, and I really, really like that because he deserves it, and it's a change. So that was fun.
I think it's him and Drew in a cell now.
Probably.
Because he just grabbed Drew, threw him out.
Yeah.
I think we'll have at least.
We'll have 4. We'll probably have Universal,
we'll have
WWE,
4.
men's, women's.
That many? It's usually like
both
2 or 3 max.
We might. Yeah. I don't think Roman won't be in a cell. I don't think Roman will be in a cell. He doesn't need to be.
True. You got a point. Point. Yeah, it might be a little Roman and Jim Uso action, but let's get into that right now. Roman Reigns, Cesaro, before the match started, Roman told Jay basically, hey man, I got this. Like, stay back here. But
now what if, here's an interesting thing. What if both Usos go against each other in a cell?
Whoa.
I don't think they do cells without the belt on the line at this point.
Thinking outside the box here, I say.
Well, maybe they actually use the cell for its true intention of the blow off of all blow offs. The whole point of it is. Yeah, no, that's just a stipulation for the name of the pay-per-view at this point.
There you go. And it's not in October this time. It's in June.
I know. I was getting ready to get my Halloween costume then at that point.
But anyways, Roman, Cesaro. It was great. I thought this match was fantastic as well. Any Roman match, you get that big fight feel now because he doesn't fight often. He usually fights just on pay-per-view, and when it's a
But see,
Roman
that's where
Reigns
he's
match,
better than Brock, where he only fights on pay-per-view, but he's on TV.
But he fights at
every single week,
every pay-per-view too.
Well,
He's also
thing,
fights at every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Brock didn't show up to like half the pay-per-views in a year.
Only big four, really.
The big four, yeah, and maybe a B show here and there.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like you guys said it best. Like he has the same presence as Brock now, obviously being like this tough bad guy that runs everything. But like you, Justin said, he shows up every week, and like Jesse said too, like he fights at every pay-per-view. Like he's the guy that shows up and is dominant. So that's great. And shout out to Cesaro during this, because Cesaro put on a hell of a performance. I think he somewhat hurt his arm during it. Nothing has came out yet. I don't know if he was just selling it really well, but he pulled me.
I think it was selling it.
Really? You think so?
I think they were selling. Yeah, because it played into he couldn't hit the neutralizer. He also couldn't do the swing. He couldn't lock in the sharpshooter fully either.
Was it the same arm that Seth came out and attacked with the chair?
Yes. Yep. Yes. Yep.
That kind of
worked.
Then it was a sell. Oh, they sold it fantastically. Yeah. Absolutely, 110%. It was great. And they let it play into the story so well. Like I said, all those moves that Cesaro wanted to hit. Also, all the uppercuts.
Oof.
Anytime he would uppercut, he would immediately wince, and then he couldn't throw Roman in the air to hit him with that. So it basically told the story that if Cesaro's arm wasn't beat to hell, he probably was going to beat Roman like 2 to 3 different times.
Yeah.
But because Roman just really, really got that arm, he couldn't hit any of his big moves.
No, you're exactly right. And just this match is also really, really well put together too. Like you said, Jesse, like they told that story well. They also told the story that Roman could get the job done without any Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso by his side at that time and point. And it's just really solidifying Roman as the top guy in SmackDown, which is expected. But no, this match was good. A lot of close finishes, and it
was just nice to see something different with Cesaro.
Yeah, main event. He doesn't main event. He never main evented a pay-per-view, I don't think. And obviously having your first main event for the Universal title against Roman is very, very special. And like I said earlier, he put on a show, Roman put on a show. And at the end of the match, Jey Uso came out and crowned Roman with his lay thing and all that, and basically started to attack Cesaro. And then oddly enough, Seth Rollins comes out. So I'm like, all right, Shield 2.0. This is what we're doing. But not really. Just Seth kind of attacks Cesaro, and then it went off the air. And I'm very confused by this. And I just want to know what you guys think about why they did this. Like, it's odd. It's very odd to end a pay-per-view with, like, something like that. It doesn't make
it's much almost sense. Because remember, it was the go-home show for SmackDown, I think. Or no, it was the throwback SmackDown. That wasn't Go Home, though, right? No, it wasn't. Remember when Cesaro beat or Seth lost, right? And then he went to Roman. He's like, am I pissed off at you or the other?
Yeah.
So maybe by him going after Cesaro was like, look, I took care of him now. He's not your problem anymore. Like, does this wipe the slate clean almost?
I guess.
Maybe. I thought it was more of a thing of he was mad from Mania.
That's what I was thinking more.
That's what I thought it was.
But like, why continue?
But that makes sense of, hey, I took out your guy. Now I should be number one contender. But Roman and Jey were already gone.
Yeah,
so I don't know. It felt more of like a Seth Cesaro thing than a Seth wanting a title shot kind of thing.
Very weird. And I like when
I hope they explain it. They will. Yeah. But I hope it makes sense.
I love obscure stuff like that, but like
not to end a pay-per-view.
It didn't like have the hype behind it in a way. It was like, oh, Seth beating up Cesaro. Like we've seen that before in a normal SmackDown. Like it wasn't like exciting. It wasn't like a return or like a heel or face turn or like someone coming back from an injury. It was very like end of SmackDown ending ish. Like it wasn't meant to be like on a pay-per-view like that. But it was fine. I like to see where it goes.
Maybe it's used to take Cesaro off TV for a month. Maybe till Hell in a Cell. I think they might do that where it's like, and then they'll probably run Seth and Cesaro again at Hell in a Cell. I would imagine that's where it's going.
Maybe something with Daniel Bryan too.
Know,
Who knows? Who knows at this point? It's up in the air.
I think we got to get Roman beating the absolute piss out of Jimmy soon, real soon.
I like to
he is going to destroy him.
Yeah, because Jimmy's acting like his own man. You know, he has that shirt. And
nobody's bitch.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I think we're gonna get the Roman J. Like it was right around Hell in a Cell last time when it was Roman J.
Yeah,
and Roman just had to absolutely obliterate him. Which I mean, obviously it was different because it was October, so it's not as long as it feels. But you know, it's coming back around. So maybe
that's why they pushed it up.
In line.
Maybe that's why they pushed it up for this story. It's very possible. Top wrestler and top story in the whole company to push up a pay-per-view. It makes perfect sense, but we don't know, and we have a lot to break down throughout this whole week in wrestling because a lot of unanswered questions about this and what's next for Lashley and all that. So, but that does it for us right now. So thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Sports Performance Podcast. Us three appreciate it. Joe and Steve appreciate it as well. Follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports Depth Pod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. NHL playoffs are starting. NBA playoffs are starting. Podcasts coming for both of those in the upcoming weeks. Maybe an MLB one soon, just breaking down everything again. Yeah, that's coming too. Maybe football. I don't know.
We'll see.
Nothing really with football, so maybe not. But, you know, wrestling recaps like always too. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.